Hello there, welcome to Learn with Ceri. First of all, congratulations on completing your first quest in this year's competition. In these weekly videos, I'm going to choose some of the questions to go over and share some tips and tricks with you for solving them, and hopefully will help you to be even more confident and speedy for the next quests. Here we go. Let's have a look at question 5. If you increase the width of a rectangle by 5, you get a rectangle with a perimeter of 22 centimetres. What is the perimeter of the original rectangle? Let's have a refresher on what perimeter actually means. The perimeter is the length around the outside. So for example, if you had a field, then you would need fencing to surround your field. So all the way around the outside, how long is that line? That's the perimeter. So to calculate it, we're going to find out the length of a width, and then a height, and then a width, and then a height, and add it all up. And that's got to be 22. On our rectangle, we're told that whatever it used to be has been extended by an extra 5. So the new rectangle is 5 extra compared to what it used to be. Let me write old in this section. That was the old rectangle. And it's 5 extra. So that actually adds up to 10 extra then, because you've got 5 here and 5 here. So 10 extra compared to the 22 we had before. So if we do 22 take away 10, we've got the answer. And the answer is 12. Okay, so the original perimeter we're never going to find out what the width and the height are, but we know that they would add up to, so this width and this width and this height would have added up to 10 less than this, so it would be 12 centimetres. And that's the answer you're looking for. These kinds of area and perimeter questions come up quite a bit, so I thought there's no harm in just reminding you what area is. So the area is how many squares there are inside, so what the coverage is inside an object. And sorry about my slightly wonky lines there. And to work that out, you do your length multiplied by your width. So whatever those two numbers are, you multiply them together. And that tells you how many squares there are inside, and that's the area. So I thought I'd mention that because you never know, it might come up next time. In question 6, Ben was adding two two-digit numbers. He doesn't know the X and he doesn't know the Y in these two numbers here, but he does know that the addition has to make 63. So straight away we can see, well, we can't add something to 9 and get 3, so this 3 must really be 13. And so that tells us that Y would be a 4, because 9 add 4 is 13. If we've got 4 and the 1 from the 13, we've got 5, so the X would be a 1. So this is a common thing in the quests, that you don't just work out the number, you then have to do something with those digits. That's why I wanted to just point this out to you. So the actual number that you need to enter into the system to get the points is the number 5 by adding the two mystery numbers up. Okay, and that's something that you see quite often, that you've got to do the X add the Y, or sometimes it's X times the Y, or take away. So yeah, watch out for that. All right, guys, I'm going to move on to the next one. The next one I've picked to look at is question 9. Harper and Liam each think of a 4-digit number. Liam thinks of the largest 4-digit number that does not repeat any digits, and Harper thinks of the smallest 4-digit number that doesn't repeat any digits. What number do you get if you subtract Harper's number from Liam's number? So you're probably fine with working out that 9876 is the biggest you can make. The difficulty comes up because we've got a 0 as an option for a digit, and you can't start with 0. So the best place that the 0 can go is in the hundreds and putting the 1 in the thousands. Otherwise, if you put the 0 first, you wouldn't get a 4-digit number, it'd be a 3-digit number. And so 1023 is the smallest. And when we subtract them, we get our answer of 8,853. All right, guys? Finally, question 10. Winnie starts at 121,323 and has skipped counting by some number. The first few numbers she counts off are, and I'll let you read them. What number does Winnie write next? So I got lucky on this, but then maybe it's just because I've been doing these puzzles for 40 years. But I actually happened to write them in underneath each other. And then I was so lucky because then I could see that the ones column is going 3, 4, 5, so I knew the next one would be 6. And then the tens column is 2, 3, 4, so the next one's 5. Then the hundreds, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thousands, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10,000s are a 5, and because it's going up the same and it's not going over the 9 barrier, that is the answer. So 5 points can be done really quickly if you get lucky and try out writing them down underneath each other instead. And there you go. So I hope some of those tips and tricks are useful for you in the next quests. I wish you lots of luck and see you soon. Bye.